The journey of practicing martial arts is an exciting, fulfilling, and long one. The beginning stages are always the most exciting, and as you progress through the journey, you start to develop more and more discipline, which is needed because at times, you may not want to train. Nonetheless, you continue to train your martial arts skills, refining concepts, application, and more. Time has passed, but you still have that same love and passion for your martial arts journey. However, your body has also changed. You may not be able to do the same flashy kicks, or maybe some of the warm-ups you used to do take a little bit more time now because you feel you may tear something if you don't. You absolutely love everything about your martial arts journey, but martial arts training has also taken a toll on your body. The things you used to do at 23, you're no longer able to do at 40, 50 plus. You know, intense heavy bag training, running, physical conditioning, sparring, so much more, it takes a toll on us. But that's the trade-off. And we as martial artists, we embrace those challenges. Those 360 jump kicks may not have the same flash and flare it used to. Those used to be explosive and powerful punches may not be as devastating. Martial arts training takes a toll on our muscles, joints, and though we may not feel so much of it now in our youthful stages, as we age, we feel a bit more each time. We as martial artists can expect our bodies to degrade over time because that's the process of aging. On top of that, when we train, our bodies take a beating. But even though that's expected, there are ways we can help mitigate the negative effects of aging in martial arts. I even have my own personal experience that I can guarantee you guys don't have to suffer through your training, and you can age gracefully in your martial arts journey. And what I first recommend to you guys to help reduce those effects is the importance of mobility training. Guys, please incorporate mobility training. I have talked about this in previous videos that if you implement mobility training into your regimen just 2 to 3 times a week, you're gonna see significant changes on how your body responds and feels daily. Since incorporating mobility training consistently for the last 6 to 8 months, my lower back pain, I don't have it anymore. My hips, they don't feel as tight. I feel more looser, stronger, just by implementing mobility training into my regimen. And let me remind you guys, mobility training is different than flexibility training. They both go hand in hand, but mobility training strengthens your connective tissue. And over time, if we don't strengthen our connective tissue, guys, that's where our joints can become more tenuous. So we have to make sure we're strengthening our joints. So doing exercises like Cossack squats, sitting in what people call the Asian or the deep squat, and internally rotating your hips just to get better fluidity in your hips. Internal rotation is something that we really don't focus on. If you sit a lot and you have your legs just sitting there, just relax, right? You're in a constant state of external rotation in your hips. So you're not really working the internal aspect of your hips. And if you don't do that, guys, you're not maximizing the full capability of your hips. It's like buying a video game that isn't quite finished yet, but we still purchase it and it's like DLC just came out a week later. We want full access to the video game. We don't want partial, just like your body. You don't want partial access to your hips. You want the full accessibility of utilizing your hips. So working on external rotation, internal rotation, working on your hip flexors, strengthening your ankles, your lower back. These are things, guys, we have to really strengthen. We can't just go in there and just do punches, kicks, slams, takedowns, all of this stuff, and not expect our bodies to degrade over time if we're not doing the proper conditioning. It's cool to lift weights, it's cool to do calisthenics training, but are you taking time to really focus on mobility training? So do your mobility training, but also combine it with your flexibility routines as well. They both go hand in hand and they complement each other. The second tip I want to offer you guys is the importance of nutrition. Something that we don't really talk about a whole lot on this channel that I'm going to start talking about more. Nutrition is crucial. Many of us neglect in our 20s. I can recall being in my early 20s, I would eat whatever it was, just sugar and salt. That's all I consumed. And I would still have a 6-pack. And I'm just like, you know what? I could eat whatever I want. I didn't really pay attention how it contributed to my performance. So even though I was eating all of those calories and I still looked good, I really didn't perform my best like I could have. So making sure you guys reduce the amount of sugar, salt that you're putting in your body. Because a lot of the times, guys, that ages our body a lot more faster. And people fail to realize this. Of course, moderation is cool, but I'm not gonna tell you to have moderation in eating donuts. So you wanna make sure nutrition is top priority. The next tip I have for you guys is program design. How you design your program is gonna also impact your training. So if your intensity is high throughout the entire week, then of course, over time, your body's gonna slow down a lot faster versus somebody who knows how to properly design their program. So for me, I make sure my intensity is high in the beginning of the week, then I slowly start to decrease that intensity later on in the week. That works perfectly fine for me because it allows my body to train more and also recover in the process. If I'm going crazy hard Monday through Saturday, Sunday I take off, and Monday I return with that same intensity, of course my body's gonna degrade a lot faster over time. So you wanna make sure you guys are properly designing your program. Maybe focus on your heavy martial arts training early in the week, then kind of have your deload, that being flexibility, mobility, but taking it relatively slow, not doing like hour, 2 hours at a time of intense mobility or flexibility work, just kind of breathing through the stretches, breathing through the movements, so that way you guys can properly recover. So how you design your program is a slept on concept. The last one I have for you guys is rest. Rest is super critical, and I briefly touched on it a moment ago. Proper rest is the most essential. Your physical attributes are heightened through your resting periods. So if you're not getting adequate rest, then of course you're gonna be wondering why I'm not making progress. So that means, guys, not sparring intensely every single week, making sure you guys have your proper deloads. For my fighters that I train, right? I always remind them, hey, if you guys are sparring this many rounds in preparation for a fight, we're gonna slightly decrease the intensity and the volume of your training, because running, sparring, lifting, calisthenics, all of that takes a toll, and that ages your body a whole lot faster. The guys you see in combat sports still operating at a high level, they understand the importance of all of these concepts, but most importantly, rest. You may think mentally like, hey, did I do enough today? More than likely you did. And even if you don't think you did, a mental break is all that we need to really just allow our CNS to recover, our bodies to be fully rejuvenated. Young, middle-aged, or old, this applies to you guys. I don't care if you're young, middle-aged, old, getting proper rest is crucial and will really help you to have longevity in your martial arts journey. Do not underestimate the power of rest. One of the most common tropes in the world is the older we get, the more we're gonna slow down, especially when it pertains to martial arts. Yes, you're gonna slow down over time, that's to be expected, but if you incorporate these things I just talked about, you can slow down that aging process, because there's a difference between chronological and biological aging. You might be chronologically 30 years old. Biologically, you might be 25 years old, versus a person that might be 24 years old chronologically, but they might be 50 years old biologically. There's a difference, guys. How you take care of your body is how your body is gonna ultimately age. So if you don't stress the importance of taking care of your body as you age, of course you're gonna slow down a lot faster versus a person that really takes care of themselves. So make sure you guys are doing your mobility training. Strengthen the connective tissue. Make it more resilient, more pliable. Make sure you guys are eating healthy, not empty calories. How you design your program. Design it effectively. Don't overdo it. Less is more. Finally, rest. Don't underestimate the power of rest. But that's all I have for you guys. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you guys smash that like button. Most importantly, make sure you are properly subscribed. I'll see you guys next video. Peace and love as always. And now shave. Boom. We out, baby.